Hey guys, welcome to or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Angelisa and on this channel we talk about books. And today I'm going to be doing my October wrap up. I read 8 books this month and I'm very excited to tell you guys about them. So we're going to start with storygraph statistics as always. I personally enjoy doing storygraph statistics for the books that I read. It just kind of, just lets you see what the vibe was for the month. Lets me evaluate whether or not I had a good reading month. Very confused by this. Hold on. Oh, okay. My bad. I was confused because my storygraph was saying that I read 9 books and I realized that that's because one of these books has another book in it. So that's where that came from. Anyway, October wrap up. So we read 9 books for a total of 2,851 pages. My top moods were, my top mood was mysterious, and that definitely screams October to me. And that was followed by emotional, and then literally all these are tied: tense, lighthearted, hopeful, funny, dark, and adventurous, and the last one was reflective. They were all fiction. In terms of genres, I read 4 young adult, 4 thrillers, 4 romances, 4 mystery, 3 fantasy, 2 contemporary, 1 magical realism, and 1 literary. And my average star rating this month was 4.39, so I had a pretty good reading month. But we will get into the specific ratings in a minute. That was just like my quick little storygraph statistics. Now let's talk about the books that we read. So I started off the month with Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This was her new release. It came out on October 3rd, and I finished it on October 3rd because I got it a little bit early, and I rated this 6 stars. This is one of my new favorite books. It lived up to the hype that Icebreaker had. I love her like comfort, cozy reads that she does, and the romance in this was so cute. There actually was like some character development and like plot development in it, which I liked, and it didn't have that like toxicity that every single freaking rom-com does nowadays. And yeah, there was so many important themes in this, and I just loved reading about the Maple Hills friend group. Again, I could live in this world forever. I wish these people really existed. But yeah, so Wildfire follows Rory and Russ. Russ is one of the hockey mates from Icebreaker, the first book, and Rory is, I don't think she's in the first book. I think she's a new character. But basically, they have a one-night stand in the beginning of the book, and then they both kind of like forget about each other. Well, not forget about each other, but they don't talk after that. And then they show up at summer camp to do like a camp counseling for the summer, and they're both there. And it's super awkward, and they have this like undeniable attraction to each other and just like pull. And the camp has a no fraternization rule, so they're kind of struggling to abide by that rule because of how attracted they are together. And so yeah, you're kind of just going through them sorting out these feelings. It's spicy, it's cute, it's comfy, and I love this so much. I would definitely recommend it. Next, I continued a series that I had started in September, and I did a reading vlog for this series. It is the Natural series. So this month I read Killer Instinct, All In, and Bad Blood, and inside of the Bad Blood book is also the little novella called 12. So just to like kind of go back, I had rated the Naturals 4 stars, and then Killer Instinct came after that. I actually ended up rating this 4.5 stars. It was its own new kind of little story, but also a continuation of the first book. I really enjoyed this book. I thought it was better than the first one, and just the romance development that you get in it is really cute. The typical like Jennifer Lynn Barnes love triangle-esque, and that was just so much fun to read again. One thing about these books that I noticed specifically in this book was that like it kind of, there's so many reveals at the end of each chapter that just like leave your jaw on the floor, and you just want to keep on reading so you can know what happened. And yeah, that was definitely happening in this book. Next, I read All In. I ended up rating this 4.25 stars. I enjoyed it, but I could feel that I liked Killer Instinct more for some reason. I think Killer Instinct was my favorite of the 4, but it was still very enjoyable and very good. And you get to learn a lot more about a character that's in the first 2, but you don't really know a lot about her because like you know a bit obviously, but you just don't know. I'm talking about Sloane, sorry for those who have read it. Yeah, you get to learn a little bit about her, and there's some really cool kind of like riddles and things that you get to figure out with them throughout this book. The last one I read was Bad Blood, so I ended up rating this 4 stars. As a kind of finale to it, I did really enjoy it. I did think that it kind of dragged out at times and was a little bit unrealistic and far-fetched, but I still really did enjoy it, and I think that I could still like read a book like this over and over and over again. I love reading these group of friends solving these mysteries together. Like, their chemistry together is so good because they are all so different yet can relate to each other in a way that no one else in the books could. So yeah, I really just loved this series. And at the back of this, I think it's like the back kind of like third of the book, this much, is a novella called 12, and I ended up bringing that one 3.75 stars. It was just a cute little novella that takes place after the ending of Bad Blood, like 5 years later or something like that. So that was really cute. It wasn't that fleshed out, so it's hard to give it a better rating. Just to give a brief synopsis about the Natural series, basically it's about these 5 teenagers who they have like these special abilities that could help with investigations in the FBI. So one of them is really good at detecting lies, another is good at reading emotions, another is good at spotting patterns, and 2 of them are profilers. So basically they're all kind of working for the FBI and solving crimes. They originally in the beginning are solving cold cases, so you get to go through that, but things take an interesting turn because they really want to get their hands on live cases because they want to be a help, obviously, with their gifts. Obviously it's super unrealistic, like the FBI would never let teenagers do that, but it's super fun to read. Then in like typical October fashion, I read some spooky October romances, and the first one that I read was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, I think is how you say her name. So I rated this 4 stars, but honestly when I think about it, I think I'd actually give it higher, like 4.5 stars. I really did enjoy it. I love the themes that were in this. I love the self-growth that happened. I thought it was such an interesting plot, and I've never read a romance book like this. So basically you have this ghost writer who she writes kind of like for this big writer, and her editor will not give her an extension on her project that she has to do for this author, and she can also like see ghosts. That's been something that she could always see throughout her childhood. She doesn't really talk about it much because people think it's weird, but she can see ghosts. And one day she goes to a funeral for her father because he had passed away and he could also see ghosts, and she sees her editor at the funeral, but he's not there. Actually, he's a ghost. So sometime between last seeing her editor and going to this funeral, he had died and has come to this funeral with her to complete some unfinished business that she has to do. So yeah, you're kind of going through the book while they're trying to figure out how to send him to the afterlife and like finish this unfinished business, as well as them kind of like falling in love. So it's kind of like a little bit of forbidden love because he's a ghost and how is that going to happen? So yeah, I really did enjoy this, but I think I'd probably increase the rating like now that I've thought about it longer. After The Dead Romantics, I read The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I rated this 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a super cute book. It was really short, 300 pages. It's a sequel to The Ex-Hex by Erin Sterling, and we're following Gwyn, who is Vivian's cousin, and the male interest is, what was his name again? Wells. Sorry, I couldn't remember his name because his name is like actually really weird, but he's Wells, and he's actually Reese's older brother, and he's from Britain or the UK. He's from the UK, and he comes to what is it called? Oh my god, I don't remember this. Graves Glen, to open up a witchy shop right across the street from Gwyn's witchy shop. So obviously she's really pissed, and it's kind of like a rivals to lovers type of thing. And however, that's not the only thing that's going on in this. Like, there is a lot of plot behind the scenes. I wish that it was a little bit more fleshed out, but it is a very short book. This coven comes into this is on the synopsis, by the way. This coven comes in, and the powers around the town start to kind of act a little bit weird, so they need to figure out why that's happening. Yeah, it was really really fun. The banter was really funny, and because like he's so posh and like UK and she's like very American and like millennial Gen Z, it was so funny the conversations that they would have. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this. The last book I read for that video was Not the Witch You Wed by April Asher. This is another like witchy romance, and I ended up rating this one 6 stars. I really enjoyed it. The plot was so much fun. Basically, it's about this witch and this like shapeshifter. He's kind of like a werewolf because he can shift into a wolf, but there's other types of shapeshifters too, like birds and all sorts of stuff. They are both kind of bound by this rule where they both have to be like mated soon, and if they don't, then the council like will kind of just pick a mate for them. So obviously neither of them want that, so they agree to fake date each other basically to kind of get the council off of their backs until they can figure out what they want to do. But the catch is that they are exes. They dated when they were teenagers, and he broke her heart. He being, oh my god, I can never remember names. Lincoln broke Violet's heart like 10 years ago or 13 years ago, and now they're in their 30s and she wants nothing to do with him, but she literally has no choice. But yeah, there was so much plot in this and I enjoyed it so much. The world building was actually insane. Like it felt like I was kind of reading like a fantasy book. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this, and I'm definitely gonna purchase the like second one in this series. The last book that I completed this month is Before the Coffee Gets Cold by Toshikazu Kawaguchi. So this I actually really enjoyed. Rated it 4 stars. So it is like a story beginning to end, but there are like mini stories in each, like there's 4 mini stories in it. At first when I went into this, I thought that it was just going to be like a bunch of little tales that are not related to each other, but the way that it came together in the end was actually really beautiful, and I really enjoyed this. I have the 2nd and 3rd books already and I'm very excited to get into them. But yeah, I really just enjoyed this. It's about, okay, actually this thing on the back says it perfectly. It's a story about human relationships, missed opportunities, and the enduring power of love. Yeah. Basically, it's about this magical seat in a cafe where you can go back in time. Yeah, basically you can go back in time, and the question is like, if you could, what would you change? What would you say to a person if you could? Really love this. I think it was very poetic and just a beautiful book. And it's so cute. Quickly, I'm just gonna talk about 2 books that I'm in the middle of. So I started Caraval by Stephanie Garber. I'm really enjoying it. I actually don't know which chapter I'm on. I think I'm on like chapter 6 or something. Yeah, I just kind of started it. I am going to be doing a reading vlog for it, so do not worry. But I'm really enjoying it so far. Basically, it's about these 2 sisters, and one of them is like about to be wed to someone, and the other one is like very like rebellious and like doesn't want to listen to like what their father wants for them. And there's this thing called Caraval where I think you like go and like play these games or like go on like, I don't remember what it actually is, but the concept is that like, yeah, it's a game. You play in a game, the Caraval game. And if you win, you get a wish. So these sisters want to go to Caraval, but one of them, because she's about to be wed, doesn't want to go, so whatever. Anyway, they drag her there and one of them gets kidnapped. So I think this whole story is basically like solving the mystery of like what happened to her sister. So yeah, I've heard that it's like a mystery fantasy, so it sounded kind of interesting, and I'm really excited to start this whole series so I can read the Once Upon a Broken Heart series as well. I'm also in the middle of Survive the Night by Riley Sager. So this is about a girl who her best friend was killed by this like campus murderer, basically is what they call him, and she just wants to get off campus. She does not want to be there for good reason. So she accepts a ride from a stranger who is like also leaving the campus at the same time and going the same direction, and I'm pretty sure that like he's a killer. So I'm guessing, and like the end of the synopsis says, trapped in a terrifying game of cat and mouse played out on pitch black roads and in neon lit parking lots, Charlie knows the only way to win is to survive the night. So it's just like I think it's gonna be a really fast-paced thriller. It's only, I think, like 9 hours as an audiobook, so it's very, very quick. And yeah, I really love Riley Sage's other books, so I'm just very, very excited about this. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below what you read in October. I always love to hear what you guys are reading, what you've read, what you're planning to read, what were your thoughts. I hope it was a good reading month for you. And in terms of like good reading month, I don't mean quantity, quality always over quantity. Of course, like I want to read more books because I have a really large physical TBR that I need to get through, but honestly, I really just want to have had enjoyed the books that I've read, so I hope the same for you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me so much when you guys do that, and I love you so much, and I hope to see you in the next one.